Hi, my name is Gabby. I'm working with Yesenia on our commercial whaling presentation for Biology 212. Here's an outline of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to go over the history of commercial whaling, what it is, the social, political, economic, and environmental factors, what it looks like today, the International Whaling Commission, the IWC, and what can be done or the safe alternatives for commercial whaling. Commercial whaling is the practice of hunting and killing whales for the purpose of selling and trading their meat and any products such as their bones or oil. It's been going on for thousands of years, but the earliest record that we have goes to 3000 BC, when whaling was practiced by small communities located in the North Atlantic and North Pacific Oceans. In the 1600s, it became such a successful business due to their increased need for whale oil and other goods. In the 1950s through the 80s, new technological developments such as larger boats, floating factories, faster engines, and many others allowed for greater range and capacity to increase hunting practices. Whaling was a multi-million-dollar industry, and some scientists believe that more whales were hunted in the early 1900s than in the previous 4 centuries combined. Eventually, petroleum and other fossil fuels became much more popular and reliable than whale oil. What it looks today, over 2.9 million whales have been killed for commercial purposes in the 20th century. That is over 30% of sperm whale population and up to 90% of blue whales have been killed. Despite the temporary bans from the IWC and ICRW, some countries continue to engage in the hunting and killing of whales. Norway and Ireland are still hunting this. They established their own catch limits, but must provide information on their catches and any scientific data to the IWC. Japan alone has killed more than 7,000 whales under the guise of scientific research since the ban began in 1986. The Russian Federation has also registered an objection to the temporary ban, but it's not hunting at the moment.
So, before whales were hunted for commercial purposes, beached whales were discovered to have valuable products which included whale oil, bone, meat, baleen, and ambergris. These valuable products gave the idea of hunting whales, which then came to what we know as commercial whaling. Whale oil was actually used for candles and as a lubricant in machinery. Today, the oil usage has been broadened to be used in soap, explosives, and even margarine. Baleen are actually plates used to filter food instead of teeth that whales have. These were used for corset, collar, and umbrella structures due to its strength and flexibility. Ambergris was and is still used in perfumes, though it's rare and only sometimes occurs in sperm whales. So the International Whaling Committee was formed in December 2nd in 1946 under the International Convention for the Regulation of Whaling. It has many missions and purposes, but all in all, these contribute towards the conservation of whale stocks. And in 1986, banned commercial whaling, setting the quota to 0. They regulate whaling by setting catch limits by species and area. To talk about issues, the current state of whaling, or to update the schedule to set new measures for regulation, meetings happen biannually. One meeting is a commission meeting and the other is a scientific commission meeting. At both meetings, work is reported by subcommittees that have different purposes. These include a scientific subcommittee, conservation, financial, aboriginal whaling, killing methods, and infraction subcommittees. This is a map of countries who are members of the International Whaling Committee and when they joined. The blue joined in the 1900s, yellow joined in the 2000s, and the green represents former members. Though many countries do follow the International Whaling Committee regulations, Norway and Iceland still continue to kill whales for commercial purposes. They openly defy the IWC ban under the objection of the moratorium. They also make their own catch limits. However, they still must provide information on their catches and associated scientific data to the Commission. Japan has actually left the International Whaling Committee altogether in 2019 and has since resumed commercial whaling. Also, despite low demand in whale meat, Norway's quotas for hunting whales continue to increase. In response to the low demand of meat, they instead focus on catching whales for their oil to put towards research for new uses of them. They also continue to export tons of whale meat to Japan. There are parts of the world in which whale products are an important aspect to the cultural life of native people. Unlike commercial whaling, aboriginal whaling doesn't maximize catches for profit, but instead are hunted exclusively for local consumption. There are 4 countries that take part in aboriginal whaling, which include Denmark, Russia, St. Vincent, Grenadines, and the United States, specifically Alaska and Washington. IWC is aware that their regulations can have a potential impact on traditional cultures, so they allow these countries to hunt certain whales, but of course with limits. For example, Native people from Alaska are allowed to kill 392 bowhead whales within 2019 and 2020. However, no more than 67 can be killed within a year. These quotas help regulate aboriginal whaling, but also allow the communities to continue participating in their culture.
For the environmental aspects, whales play a key role in their ecosystem. They help regulate the flow of food by helping to maintain a stable food chain and making sure that other species do not overpopulate and destroy the organisms below them in the food chain. For example, blue whales eat more than 40 million krill every day, meaning that without them, the krill population will multiply to 200 million in a week. As a result, the food consumed by krill, such as plankton, will start to decrease in population. Whales have also been called the farmers of the ocean. Studies have shown that the nutrients in sperm whale poop help stimulate the growth of plankton, which pulls as much as 9 million pounds of carbon from the atmosphere each year, therefore providing a cleaner and healthier breathing environment for all animals. As the socio-political aspect goes, commercial whaling is very controversial. It has angered many animal rights activists and conservation organizations, which has led to many protests and sometimes many new laws. There is also the research aspect. For example, the echolocation has proven helpful for new technology. As the economic aspect goes, like I said before, this is a multi-million-dollar industry that employs over thousands of people and has millions of customers each year. But in recent years, it has been competing against whale watching. Whale watching is a big business right now. It is the practice of observing whales and dolphins in their natural home. It is very helpful for many countries, as when people spend money on this activity, it makes it easier for locals to earn money and therefore not try to do any commercial whaling. Not to mention that it inspires organizations to study the whales more and helps save them, which raises money for future loss. There are many things that you can do to help. Be annoying. Call, write letters or emails to your local and state government officials and let them know that you want change. Don't forget to vote. Be caring. Learn about the animals that live on your planet and tell your family and friends either through social media or in person. Get involved in such organizations or conservation groups, be it using your time or your money. Finally, for the second question, what is the purpose of whale watching? Well, whale watching is a safe alternative to commercial whaling, bringing economic relief to countries and general awareness
So my question for you guys is, why is aboriginal whaling important? Also, how is it regulated? The answer is aboriginal whaling is important for cultural groups around the world that rely on whales for their nutrition and cultural life. However, there are limits to this set by the International Whaling Committee that include quotas for each group in order to keep whaling under control.
Finally, for the second question, what is the purpose of whale watching? It is very helpful and it's a safe alternative to commercial whaling as it brings economic relief to countries and general awareness. Let's see what happens.